Hi Giorgio.
Hello.
Good afternoon. What's up? How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for asking.
Feeling good today?
Yeah,
Nice.
just wanna see what we can do and kind of how we're gonna address the issues that I'm having.
So just tell me a little bit more what you really hope to do now, like what you're struggling with.
So the main kind of struggle that I'm facing, especially being here in Dubai, is with time management and kind of assessing from the time that I have and making sure that I'm using my time effectively for the things that I like to do and things that I have to do, such as work, helping with the family business, and then work being also my personal projects and academics, and then having time to spend with social life, friends, and just finding time also for myself, for fitness and just my personal health.
So if I understand well, right now you would like to do some introspection and find ways to better impart your time between the business, the academics, and the personal/social.
Exactly. Yes.
Good.
Because I'm having, I think my difficulty in kind of like what I'm doing or what I'm facing, especially here in Dubai, because I used to have my routine back in when I was doing my bachelor and also back in Italy, in my home country. But coming here, with a new environment, new people that I have to meet, I just feel my schedule is all over the place, and it doesn't allow for me to fully distribute my time wisely. And since in a day there's only so much time, I'm having really a hard time to focus and break down exactly in what areas I should be spending the time between day and night. And because I think it's having a lot of effect on kind of how I am in terms of stress and just generating personally feeling that I'm not utilizing my time effectively like I should.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Have you struggled with this before? Has it been this way for a long time, or do you feel like you used to have a better handle over your time, your schedule?
I believe, the schedule used to be, I think, better before, but because I didn't have a lot of activities pressing on me and a lot of tasks due and a lot of things that I committed to actually while coming here in Dubai. And now I feel that by having accumulated all this kind of workload that I thought I could handle, and I still do think that there is a way for me to manage, there is just a substantial kind of overarching issue now that I'm facing, whether to how to exactly balance them in a schedule, how to fit them all in one place, and how to make sure that I'm spending enough time for all of them to be sufficient. Because my personal issues, I really want to make sure that I'm devoting 100% of my time to all of these areas, especially the ones that my personal space, the networking and meeting the people that I care for, and the new ones that I'm kind of relating to, and also giving time to the academics space and other kind of subsidiary from there and work. But I'm having really a hard time harnessing or utilizing my energy that I have throughout the day and throughout the night to fully commit that 100%.
So do something for me. Say 10 hours. Over 10 hours, what is the proportion of time you spend on each of the activities that you described before?
So, if I was to break it in 10 hours, I would say I could break it down in 5, I would say. So 2 for sure on fitness and kind of lifestyle and just me being me, which are essential for me in a day to kind of move on. If I'm missing out on those 2, then the next day it would kind of build more pressure up, and then I would have to do something to compensate for those 2 hours, so that wouldn't work forward. And I feel another 2 for just academic work and kind of meeting with people in my academic environment and making sure that I'm respecting kind of their need and respecting what we have to do together, because it is a large commitment that's coming from Hult and kind of the pressure from the work and assignment and due dates. And then the other 2, I would say spending time with family and especially also with business that I'm carrying out for them. Being from Italy, it's very culture. It's part of our culture to spend a lot of time and just digesting what we do together as a family, making sure that there is some quality time spent with them. And the rest is just kind of a mixture of just social life, being able to do whatever I please, meaning hobby-wise, reading, finding my interests. Really.
Okay, all right. So you mentioned that sometimes you get delayed on some of these activities and you build up to the next day and then you accumulate some type of time debt. Would you say it happens every day? And on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being like it happens rarely and 5 it happens to an extent that it's really becoming disruptive for my schedule on a weekly basis. How would you assess that time that you're wasting, and we'll move on from there?
I would say it really generates in the beginning of the week, because coming from a weekend, I think I can take more time for myself and kind of relax and try to figure out what the next week will look like. But then when it actually comes down to the fact of the next week comes over and the first few days start and I'm getting my assignments all in line, I'm trying to find out what kind of schedule. It really does kind of snowball into the other days, and it creates this domino effect of just personal stress and personal feeling of me not being able to accomplish many of the things. And I think on the scale of 1 to 5, as you mentioned, I would give it around a 3, because it's really...
Okay, so that's...
It's pushing.
Substantial. I understand. All right, so now just maybe tell me a bit of regular situations where you end up pushing back things that you need to do. Can you think of some?
Thinking back, or thinking even about this week, what I've been kind of pursuing, what I've been doing, I really think that one scenario or one thing that happens is I underestimate the workload, and I think that I can just deal with fun first and then work after, or try to mix the two, when in reality that's not really going to work out as well as it could be, and I see it that it's happening repetitively, and but also the other way around. So if I do prioritize work, sometimes or oftentimes I find that a lot of people around the workplace, they're kind of consuming my energy in a way, meaning if I have to do an assignment, if I have to do some group work, which Hult focuses mostly on, I need to do a lot of explanation. I need to really help my team out, figure things out, to make sure that everything is delivered by the due date and by how the assignment should work. And that's discharging a lot of my energy that I have for the day, which then accumulates and goes against the me time that I have at night to kind of use and utilize to just be stress-free.
Okay. So, in percentage, how would you assess the times where it's exogenous delay is due to other people's action on your schedule, and the proportion of times where it's actually your, let's say, organizational errors or maybe some misjudgments? What would you say? Like, how much of these delays are due to other factors than yourself?
I would say I'm quite able to control the factors that happen from my side, but it's the exterior factors. So as you mentioned, the outside, other people, other kind of the environment that I'm facing in. So I would say it's a 50-50 kind of.
50-50.
Yeah. So it's between me trying to commit exactly on a time and what I'm deciding on my schedule, and at the same time I just not allowing for people to step in and utilizing or just abusing of my time, and also from tasks for business, just making sure that they're not extracting this energy from me that I could be using after to do the things that I really like doing.
Absolutely. So maybe we can look into finding some solutions to these problems, because so right now what we have is two kinds of things that we want to work on. It's one, maybe managing delays that you cause, and maybe managing delays that other people cause. So let's start with the ones that are due to your organization. What do you think you can think of right now that are actions that you can take to make sure you no longer misjudge, maybe the amount of work something is going to take? How would you say, well, what do you want to do about this?
I would say I'm more of a visual person. So I really need to kind of have it written down, have it so that I can visualize it on a daily basis. When I wake up from when I come home, when in those relaxing time that I have, just want to make sure that I can visualize a certain schedule, a certain pattern that I can kind of follow to, and just commit to.
Do you know anyone who is using certain methods? Anyone who's doing this kind of thing effectively? Maybe in your family, someone that you know has struggled with similar issues, or even here at school, and that you can look up to in terms of management of time?
There is definitely one. I would say my brother, he's a bit older than me. He found his method that I really want to take in consideration, but I'm not sure if it would work for me.
Tell me about it.
He does just very simple post-it notes on the refrigerator or on things that he's usually kind of approaching at certain times of the day. So in the morning, at lunchtime, he has a schedule kind of fixed. And with the post-it notes, he makes sure to have tasks. And if the tasks are not done, then he has different color schemes of them, green and red. And then if he hasn't completed them by that day, he will rewrite them on the red. So making sure that while rewriting, he's understanding that he hasn't done it, and he'll put them all on one side. If he crosses more than 5 post-its on the red side, then he has an issue, and he has to walk through it as fast as he can.
Okay, so what would be the obstacles to you doing such thing?
I would say just kind of committing to it and taking it seriously, rather than maybe just seeing it as a joke or seeing it as kind of me just fooling around trying to find a mechanism, but actually taking it seriously and committing to it.
Okay. Do you know someone, or do you have any ways to hold yourself accountable and actually do it that way?
I'll say there will be a mechanism for me to be accountable for, and just looking at the post and making sure that maybe one person is working with me, maybe my roommate or a member of my family, to check up on me, and on a daily basis, maybe on a weekly basis, I'll take an account how many things I've done, which I said that I would be doing, and how many things I haven't done, and then kind of reflect on what's to consider, the steps to be taken. I think that's something that you could possibly commit to.
Okay, I like that. So now about the delays that are caused by external factors. Do you think of certain ideas that you could start implementing to make sure it's no longer happening, or at least reduced?
Definitely, there is some ways that I can fix that. The ones I'm thinking on top of my head are just maybe learning how to say no to certain things. It doesn't have to be general things, but I think more of minor things, minor tasks that people ask me just to help with on the ordinary, like help them with some Excel document, help them with anything that is small, but that is still taking time from me because I'm committing 100% into trying to achieve it. But I don't feel that I'm compensated, reciprocally kind of from them. Yes. So I'm putting in the commitment, but I'm not getting anything from it. So it's like wasted energy for me.
Okay, so let's say I was one of those needy friend. What would you tell me? I'm asking you for some help on something. Just do a little bit of role play here. Tell me no. How would you say it? How would you come about it?
If you were to ask me to kind of help you with something, I would possibly say, or one way that I think that would help the both of us is to maybe tell you to study first a topic yourself, and then approach me with a question that I can answer very efficiently, maybe very quickly, very briefly, but over the work that you have done already. So not me teaching you something that you might not learn and ask me again another time. Just maybe, utilizing just as efficiently as possible the time, making sure that he understands it rather than me teaching him.
Yes. Okay. So do you think that could address most of the delays in your life right now? Those two measures that you mentioned, the post-it system and the friends, just learning how to say no?
Definitely, that's something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now can you just let me know what are you going to do for the friends thing now? How could you quantify whether you're doing the measure right or not? Like, how could you quantify maybe I still am being too patient and too lenient, or do you have a way to make sure that we stay within acceptable parameters?
I would say I could possibly arrange my friends on a scale of the importance of what they are in my life, and then assess of I can help only so many people in a day, only do so many things in a day, and then past that I would just push it to the next day to help them. I think that's something that could be maybe measured, because we are talking about time, and that's something that I really maybe think about strategizing.
All right, so now we have 2 measures. So I think what you should do now is go out there and try your best, and when we meet again, you let me know how this went. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.